Hello everyone, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at a sort of different scenario where a war sort of breaks out between a couple of countries in Europe. Now, I know I haven't really been doing mapping a lot, and it's kind of hard to balance it, as I mean, I used to love doing mapping. I'm not so, keen on it now, but I'm going to try and get some videos out, and yeah, I've got a new Discord server, so that will probably be in the description below, and yeah, so let's get into it. Now, this war will probably take place between France and Germany as the main people now. These sort of both have a falling out over money, economy, and basically Germany threatened France, and France takes that really, really personally and declares war on them. Now, instantly, this gets the Germans' allies of Dutch and the Spanish on their side, while the English and the Portuguese join in on France's side. Now, I'm just gonna hold on, give me 1 second, guys. I just need to do the layers. Copy. I haven't done this in so long, it feels so weird to do it. Go to layer 2. Just going to blank out all the countries we don't need, so put these. And then just do the river. And yeah, so France declares war on Germany. The Dutch get involved and the Spanish get involved, which thing means that the English and the Portuguese get involved. Now we're going to take a look straight away at what happens in this war, and also the Belgians get involved, and Luxembourg just picks a side. So we're going to get straight into what is going to happen in this war scenario. Now, first thing that happens is the French push up into the Netherlands. Now, I think it's quite rocky terrain around this area, so it is quite a slow battle, but they are heading for Eindhoven and Amsterdam. Meanwhile, down south, the Spanish, already having troops around, begin their push into Portugal, going into southern Portugal and taking a lot of the coast. They're looking for Lisbon, so they continue to push in, creating small front lines to capture cities. And they're doing this at quite a rapid pace, as they want to get rid of Portugal in the war very quickly. They keep going, and they eventually push down and link all the front lines up to one. This means now they can push a full-on assault into Portugal, as the British now scramble to revive. The Germans, on the other hand, start to push into Alsace-Lorraine and begin to push down and nearly take Strasbourg and put it under siege. Meanwhile, though, everything is still going quite well for the French and the Belgians up top, as they take these islands in the Netherlands and now push even further towards Amsterdam. After taking Eindhoven, they now begin to try and siege into Amsterdam, but the troops are keeping them out quite well. German troops do arrive in the area and begin to push back the French and Belgians, as they're not really left much of an attack down here, and they enter into Belgian soil. This then means that full-on war is happening across Europe, as the English do make their landing in the southern or northern Netherlands. They push down, and now Amsterdam is in complete siege. They're on the coast, trying to push up, and the French are also pushing around. Amsterdam could be the first city to fall, but the Germans do start to fight towards the city. This does create a month-long siege and stalemate, so Germany focuses itself down to the war towards Strasbourg. They continue to push in and eventually take the city, and now they are pushing quite deep into France. You can see they're just pushing through. They're not really making a huge front line. They're just making a line and they're trying to capture Paris. This goes successfully until they're met with a heavy resistance force and security force from Paris, and this enters a stalemate. Spain begins to push into France, and France really seems like the big battle of these lot. Meanwhile, though, we do see that France, who take this area, push back these troops to Spain, liberate Catalonia and give them independence. With Spain still not really focusing on this front up here, they are continuing to push into Portugal and now threaten the city of Lisbon even more. They push up the coast and now form a huge encirclement of troops and begin to push in. After pushing and sieging them for so long, making arrows, cutting them all up, everything, the troops decide to surrender over to the Spanish forces. Spanish now aim to take all their coasts so British troops cannot arrive. And this mission doesn't really go successfully as the British troops have already arrived on the soil and pushed them back up. They may be thinking this isn't really going to go anywhere because it's just back and forth between two sides. Now, theoretically, I would say if this war happened in real life, the French team would win because they're probably 10 times stronger than Germany, and a little bit stronger than Spain. The Portuguese, though, do continue to suffer more casualties as they continue to get pushed, and this creates the third stalemate of the war. After a month of no change in front lines, we finally see a tiny front line change here as the Germans continue their push near Amsterdam, but still can't get past. This war then drags on for a year and causes so much carnage that the French then declare that they are basically using all their troops. They're literally going to go full send on Germany. And that's what they do. They push through and, knock the Germans back quite far. This is seen as a heavy sort of win, but it doesn't go very well as the Germans retake Amsterdam and now begin to push practically on all fronts as they're now coming in from further Strasbourg and the Spanish are coming up from the south. So this is basically not going to end very well for France. I mean, they're getting pushed back on all fronts. They're losing Belgium. They've just lost 200,000 troops up here near Amsterdam. Yeah, it's not going very well for the French. Now they get completely pushed out of Amsterdam, and even the Germans cross over into Belgium. The move to take Brussels happens very quick, and it is taken quite quickly, and they move towards the coast. Moving down the coast, they're now trying to stop any British troops from arriving, and after this, Britain says, nope, I'm out, and they leave the war. With this, France seems betrayed, but they also kind of understand this is a very, very bloody war. The Spanish re-liberate Catalonia, and it now just looks like France are doomed. They can't do anything. And to even make it even worse, Portugal now surrenders. So France are stuck. They have a very, very weak Luxembourg, half of Belgium, and they're losing their country. So they don't really know what to do. They don't really want to surrender because then they'd look weak and they wouldn't really get much. But then again, they're just going to get ripped apart even more until they surrender. German troops began to push around and eventually make a huge encirclement around Paris and take the city. Now, if this French president has to flee, and this does suffer in the surrender of all Axis sides. That's World War II. So we are going to draw up a peace treaty here. Now, it might be quite a strange peace treaty might be quite a strange peace treaty. So let's have a look at what we're going to do. Now, Luxembourg is fully annexed by Germany. I mean, they don't need it, do they? But Germany just, the Amsterdam does get a chunk of Belgian land. And by a chunk, I mean this is quite a huge chunk of Belgian land. And this does connect their islands as well, more to them, so they have more availability there. I mean, that is a nice border I've just drawn there, I've got to say. The French lose Alsace-Lorraine to Germany. So it's about that much. Yeah, I think Alsace-Lorraine is around that. Just about that, yeah. It's not like exact measurement, but it's quite hard to get drawn up. So that's the peace treaty so far. Luxembourg's been annexed. Belgium's lost a bit of its land. And Dutch are now kind of thriving a little bit. They've got quite a big economy now after getting some more land in. Brussels still kind of under threat. Now, in this peace treaty, you can see Germany is growing quite big. Now, Belgium is very weak at this point, so there's no point in it being alive. There's no point in it being a country, as all the basically citizens are complaining that they've got no food, and it just becomes very, very poor and weak. So France annexes it, and all the Belgian people are now practically French. So France loses and gains land, but badly. It looks quite a weird border. The UK doesn't really get punished. They didn't do much. They didn't really get involved. But Spain and Portugal have a bit of a bone to pick between them. Because no, Portugal won, but a lot of different things. Catalonia gets independence, and Galicia get independence. But this doesn't really harm Spain, as Portugal is reduced down to quite a minimal country, really. I mean, they lose all of this. Like, all of this, that nice bit of Portugal is lost to Spain. So now they're just sort of a teeny little country. They've still got Lisbon, but it's not as thriving. They're not a massive economic power anymore. And yes, so that is the peace treaty. We'll go over it once more. Germany annexes Luxembourg and gets Alsace-Lorraine. France annexes the rest of Belgium. The Netherlands take a bit of Belgium. Catalonia and Galicia are freed, and Portugal loses most of its land. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. I certainly enjoyed making it. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment in what videos you'd like to see next, and make sure to join the Discord server.